Charles B. Rangel, lawyer, decorated war hero, longtime congressman, trailblazer, and Harlem's voice in Washington, passed away peacefully at the age of 94 on May 26, 2025, at Harlem Hospital Center, after a life of extraordinary service and unwavering dedication to the American people. Born June 11, 1930, in Harlem to Puerto Rican and African-American parents, Rangel was raised in a working-class neighborhood, attended DeWitt Clinton High School, and in 1948 enlisted for Korea in the famed 369th Infantry Regiment, eventually transferring to Armor, where he was wounded in action and awarded the Purple Heart, experiences that would shape his lifelong commitment to justice, equality, and veterans' rights. After returning home, he pursued higher education at New York University and Columbia Law School, becoming a successful attorney and community activist fighting for civil rights and championing the underprivileged, long before he entered politics. In 1970, Rangel was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives for New York's 18th Congressional District, later renumbered the 15th, where he would serve an astonishing 23 terms until his retirement in 2017, making him the longest-serving African-American member in House history, a record of service marked by unwavering advocacy across diverse issues. As a senior member of the powerful House Ways and Means Committee, Rangel wielded enormous influence over tax policy, economic fairness, trade, healthcare, and Social Security, using his platform to enact major legislation like the Taxpayer Relief Act of 1997 and the Affordable Care Act, always mindful of their impact on working families, veterans, and minorities. He was a leader in championing Congress's support for Haiti after the devastating 2010 earthquake, and a passionate proponent of federal funding for historically Black colleges and universities, Broadway jobs, and affordable housing in Harlem, earning him adoration among constituents and a reputation as their tireless advocate. His legislative efforts extended to championing programs like Head Start, veterans benefits, AIDS research funding, and trade adjustments for displaced factory workers, always coupling policy detail with personal compassion, ensuring that laws reflected real-world needs of people struggling to get by. He also co-founded the Congressional Black Caucus in 1971, using the group as a collective voice for equity and representation, and earned respect from colleagues on both sides of the aisle for his willingness to work across party lines, framing such dealings not as compromise, but as necessary to serve the greater good. Rangel's personal charisma, ebullient, loquacious, full of warmth, with a signature broad smile and humor, endeared him to both lawmakers and the public, making him an unforgettable figure in American politics, recognizable even to those unfamiliar with policy. His support for the arts and historic preservation was legendary. He once famously helped secure funding to restore the Apollo Theater, and he was a fixture on C-SPAN, television, and radio, always eager to tell stories of Harlem's struggles and triumphs, ensuring their legacy remains central to America's national narrative. In 2008, his ethics came under scrutiny during an IRS investigation related to unreported income and vacation home expenses, and though he ultimately accepted a fine and a year-long house probation, many saw the episode as a blemish on an otherwise sterling career, one he used as a learning opportunity to reinforce the importance of honesty in public service. In 2017, Rangel retired gracefully, after which he continued advocating for civil rights, veterans, and the arts, mentoring young leaders and speaking publicly on issues of inequality, history, and civic engagement until well into his 90s. He remained active in academia at the Columbia University Center on Poverty and Social Policy, and as a guest lecturer at Howard University and other institutions, where he emphasized bipartisan cooperation and moral leadership. Throughout his long life, Rangel received numerous honors, including the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2023, the NAACP's Spingarn Medal, over a dozen honorary degrees, and the Congressional Distinguished Service Award, all of which he accepted humbly, redirecting attention to the communities he served. Even in retirement, he maintained deep ties to Harlem, dining at neighborhood restaurants, greeting residents on street corners, attending church, and continuing a tradition of old-school constituent service, answering mail personally and attending local events, making him a beloved local figure long after leaving office. His passing was met with an outpouring of tributes from presidents, governors, civil rights leaders, veterans groups, and lawmakers of all parties who celebrated him as a paragon of public service, a noble patriot who believed deeply in the power of government to lift people up, dedicate new opportunities, and correct historic wrongs. Flags across New York City and federal buildings were lowered, while the House of Representatives held a moment of silence honoring his memory. Journalists revisited his landmark floor speeches and legislation, quoting him, "America does not presume to know the weight of each person's burden, but we can pool our resources and our compassion," a phrase now enshrined in archival quotes and inspiring future generations. Scholars pointed to his influence in shaping tax fairness, educational equity, and Cuban-Haitian immigration reform, and veterans recalled how he personally intervened to secure medical care or benefits for those who served, recalling his unyielding attention to even the smallest case. Biographies began circulating, and PBS announced a documentary titled Rangel, Lifetime of Service, to begin production. In online memorials, constituents shared stories of getting help with mortgage applications, immigration paperwork, or intimate funeral expenses, something he often did quietly behind the scenes, and younger activists credited him as an inspiration for entering public life. At the hustings, his physical presence, trim, always impeccably dressed, silver hair, neatly parted, may have faded with age, but his mind remained sharp, still able to quote legislation or district maps, where he used to walk the neighborhoods. In his final days, he remained lucid and peaceful, surrounded by family and caregivers in Harlem, while the city he loved played Duke Ellington on street corners and soundtracked a virtual gathering of well-wishers streaming across social media with the hashtag RIP Charlie Rangel. At the moment of his passing, his family released a statement. "We celebrate his extraordinary life, his endless devotion to public service, and the lives of others he uplifted every single day," adding, "Though he has left us, his voice, his fierce love for this country and his people, and his belief in America's promise will live on through the countless lives he touched." Charles B. Rangel's journey from a war-torn battlefield in Korea to the halls of Congress, from the streets of Harlem to national policy debates, exemplified America's highest ideals, weaving together bravery, humility, intellect, and moral conviction into a tapestry that will forever define civic duty in the modern era. His death at 94, a solemn but fitting close to a chapter marked by dedication, perseverance, and an unwavering belief that government can and must be used as a tool to ensure justice and opportunity for all. And as the sun set over the East River, Harlem's adopted son passed away. Yet his life's work remains alive in classrooms, voting booths, congressional halls, and in the hearts of those who believe in the power of service over self. His story urging future generations to rise up, serve boldly, and never forget where they came from. Because Charles B. Rangel was never so much a man as he was an institution, a living testament to all the promises America can fulfill if its citizens lead with courage, compassion, and unshakable integrity. And even as crowd mourners gather, essays are written, lessons are taught, and streets are renamed in his honor, the legacy of this beloved congressman and civil rights pioneer endures. A legacy that future historians will note, not just for the laws he shaped, but for the dignity he brought to public office and the tangible difference he made in millions of lives, ensuring that though his voice is now silent, its echo will reverberate through generations yet to come.